Hello, welcome. I'm Grant Richards,
I'm Tim Holland.
and this is our introductory video so that you know who we are and we can talk a little bit about the class. Now, we say a lot of the stuff in the syllabus and some of the other things in the class, but it's not like actually us talking to you. So that's why Tim and I wanted.
It's a really great opportunity for us to introduce ourselves. You get to see us, not just our pictures, but actually how we move and stuff. But also, we're going to go over the syllabus, everything. We're going to give you some tips and tricks and hints, and really, our goal is to make sure that you succeed in MCTV 16. That this is, we want all of our students to do as well as possible in this course, and I think we're going to offer a couple of really good suggestions on how to proceed forward. And of course, most importantly, if you ever have any questions or comments, please reach out to Grant or I. We'll respond as soon as possible. We have all of our contact information on Canvas in the syllabus, you can also message us through Canvas. You can email us, and I believe we even have our...
So our emails are on the webpage. So I'm grichards@gavilan.edu, and Tim's is tallen@gavilan.edu. So feel free to email us. Also use the inbox on Canvas, and we'll return your messages right away. I have to serve office hours. So I'm in my office, Humanities 109, from 10 to 11 every day of the week. And so by all means, stop by. I also am going to hold Zoom meetings for those who want it, although you need to reach out to me because I don't automatically set those up. They're there for those who ask for it. So lots of opportunities to talk to us. Let's talk about the syllabus. First of all, I know that a lot of you are concerned about grades, and so I wanted to let you know that the class is based on 1,000 points. And you can see all the assignments on the class page, and Tim and I wanted to talk about two of the early projects. The first is the PSA, and if you look under week 1 on the home page, you'll see that there's a lot of things that say PSA 1, 2, 3, etc. Tim and I have taken some of our favorite PSAs over the years. The first one played when I was a little kid, so some really oldies but goodies. But we've given lots of examples, and we're giving you examples of a PSA, public service announcement, because you are going to make a PSA. And you can work as individuals or you can work in teams.
Yeah, filmmaking is a collaborative effort. So we teach film here at GAV, and we believe that if you want to work together in groups of 1, 2, all the way up to what, we say 5?
6, I think.
6.
5 partners.
Yeah, you can have 5 partners. So you can work as a group of 6. As always, in team projects, Grant and I have been students, we know. We will ask you what you did on the project. Make sure to put credits, and we know what it's like to be on a group project as well. But basically, we say this to the PSA, as you'll go through and learn, is just a persuasive video assignment. And so you're basically telling us to do something, telling us not to do something. You can look at the bunch of the different examples, and you can even see that it can be a funny thing, it can be a serious thing. Don't smoke. Or it could also be a video where it's like, you should smoke and that's why, and it could be funny. So absolutely feel free to look at the assignments. You can even mirror it. We get a lot of the this is your brain on drugs. We get homages a lot to that, which are similar versions of it. We really want you to be creative. Use your cameras, use your phones. And speaking of phones, this is important to us.
So a lot of you are going to film this way. Instagram, you need to...
TikTok.
Your phone has to be in portrait mode. We want you to turn it sideways in landscape mode so that there aren't the black bars on the side.
Why do we want them to film it in landscape mode, Grant?
Because I don't like the big black bars on the side.
Sure, yeah, we're old and we like format. But actually, this is the excuse I use, Grant. We would love if one of you created a PSA or multiple of you created a PSA that was so great that we could submit it to our Gavlin Student Film Showcase, which is this semester, May 4th.
May 4th.
and we take submissions from every single one of our classes, including MCTV 16. We've had students turn in things here that have made the festival, have won awards. So if you don't know about our student film showcase, it's absolutely fun. You'll know about it because we're going to offer extra credit for you attending. And bing, they started paying attention. Extra credit is an opportunity to come and see the films May 4th. Put that on your calendar. It's worth coming to, even not for the extra credit, but extra credit is just icing on the
You'll
top.
have fun. The movies are really great, and then you'll see the award ceremony, and that's can be really fun. It is 200 points if you come, and then 50 more if you bring a guest, and 50 more if you get an autograph from one of the nominees. So it can be a very big deal, and it will be fun. But anyways, back to the PSAs. They are due on February 28th, so you have almost a month to complete them. And then we'll talk about how you'll post them. We're hoping that you will upload them to YouTube and then share the links with us, and then we can all watch each other's PSAs and then talk about them. So that's the first assignment. It's worth 200 points, so 20% of your grade. And you'll see that a lot of the PSAs vary from 15, 18 seconds up to 2 or 3 minutes. So it's not a huge project lengthwise, but you're trying to be influential. You're trying to convince someone to do or not do something. So, and there are a lot of examples. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions about it.
Yeah, and feel free. There are ways that students have done it without putting themselves in it. You don't maybe use family members as your actors, or maybe you use images and you write text over the image. When you see the examples, you'll see how powerful you can make it, and how think about what you want to do. Be creative. You get as much as you put in, as much as you put into it, you get out of doing assignments like these.
Yeah. And the other assignment we wanted to talk about is the presentation. Now, what we've done in the past, we're changing. You can do either a presentation on a comedy, and that is a single camera comedy, a 3-camera comedy, or an animated comedy. And if you don't know those terms, don't worry, they're going to be upcoming lessons, things that we watch and discuss in future weeks. But you can either do a comedy or you can do a drama. And then there are 2 types. There's a serialized and episodic dramas. But now all of the presentations are going to be due on a certain date. And you only have to do 1 presentation. The presentations are due on March 24th. And so you've been assigned the project now, and you can start thinking about it. As you watch the shows that Tim and I recommend, you can see if there's one that you want to do your presentation on, or what we often recommend is choose your favorite show, because you already know a lot about it.
And the presentation is basically just that. You're going to pick a TV show that you probably love, and you're going to try to convince me and Grant why we should watch this show. Now, Grant and I have seen a lot of TV shows, but
assume we haven't seen your show.
Yeah. Tell us who the characters are. Show us clips. Show us your favorite moments. Break down the characters. Why or why not? Should we watch The Big Bang Theory, and who is young Sheldon? Explain all that to us like we don't know.
Or Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, or Lost, or whatever the newest Wednesday, whatever the popular show is that you like now. In fact, if it's we get a lot of anime people turn out, and hey, I'm a big DBZ and One Piece fan, so I know a lot. But you can teach us. We take student suggestions. I've absolutely watched shows based off of these presentations, so I hope that you give us some good recommendations. And we definitely have examples of what the presentation should look like. They can be anything. You could record yourself talking to us.
Yeah, that's a question that we get a lot. Tim and I do not spell it out how you do your presentations, because we want you to have the freedom to choose the format that works best for you. Tim just said you can film yourself giving almost like a speech or a presentation like you would do in a class. Or you can do a PowerPoint or Google Slides presentation, or something else.
Yeah. It's really we are big content, creators and appreciators. So we would love as much multimedia as possible. We've had students put themselves in the show and kind of do a green screen explanation of the show. We've had just long PowerPoint presentations, descriptions, and we've had students just turn in their slide deck basically that we read. And we really do appreciate the ones that are extra effort, and those get graded well. So just a tip, if you meet all the requirements, you'll get full marks. So those are always good things to think about in our class.
Yeah. The last thing we wanted to talk about is the class discussion. So first week, right away, you have a class discussion. We give 16 examples of PSAs that we want you to watch, and then at the end we pose some questions. We want you to think about what you've watched, choose your favorite or least favorite, and maybe talk about what you might want to do your PSA about, or but this is an online class, and Tim and I for years taught this face to face, and we were in the TV studio and we had a good time. We would laugh and tell jokes, and we interacted and have a really good class discussion. Now that it's online, we're hoping to try to do the same thing, get interaction between you. So when you post your comments, we also want you to read your classmates' comments and then react to them.
Yeah. So your 10 points that you get for these discussions, 8 of them are based off of what you put, your response, how well you thought you answered our questions, you thought about them. But 2 of those points are based off of your responses. You have to respond to at least 2 of your other students. And what is that like? Okay, so Grant, let's just give them an example. Let's answer the question in our perspective. So this is the PSA. And Grant, what's your favorite PSA and what's your least favorite?
I really liked the one with the father who is doing the cheer with his daughter. I am a parent myself, and I respect parents who really get involved with their kids. Tim has 2 of his little ones just in the other room right now, and I really connected with that. So that was my favorite.
Okay, so Grant's response is great. 8 points there for Grant so far. Okay, but then I write something that says, okay, I love the Coleman Sweeney one where he's a real jerk, but he ends up being a organ donor, right? Like the whole thing is he's a real bad guy, but he does something good, and therefore, even though he was bad, he was good in the end. So now that's my response. I identified with that. I believe in organ donation, etc., whatever. So now so that's my post. I get 8 points. Now in order to get my other points, I'm going to respond to Grant's comment on the discussion board and be like, Grant, I really appreciated your comment. I'm a father as well, so I really connected to how that PSA said, fathers should be involved in their parents. And I actually go out of my way to be involved in my daughter's lives.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. 1, 2, 3 sentences. I mean, really just feel how you want. Now, we do know that this is an online class. There's a lot of responses, but I really recommend you choose a day to write your discussion and then come back 1, 2, 3 days later to respond to somebody else's, because you might get there and there might not be any other discussions to respond to. So you need to wait for other people to post theirs. Yes, so.
Yeah.
That's the number one way people lose points in this class, is they don't respond to at least 2 other students' discussion points.
Yeah.
And
the terminology I have, they react to other people's responses.
Yes.
So your response is to what Tim and I suggest about the topic, and then your reaction is to your classmates' responses. So those are the things that we want you to get started. We will have optional Zoom sessions when people ask for them. So, for example, later in the semester, there's going to be the final video project. Tim and I will have an optional Zoom session. For those of you who want to join us, certainly can, and we can talk about that in more detail. Tim and I always do a review of the final exam, and if you join us, you're guaranteed to do better than if you don't.
Oh, it's a great way to brush up on what could possibly be on the final, which of course our final is a multiple choice question that you do online. You get 2 opportunities to take it, so maybe you bomb it and need to study a little bit more, you get the opportunity to do that. So.
Yeah. So anyways, this is our introduction, and I'm hoping to see your pictures and bios so we can get to know you.
Again, reach out if you have any questions. Grant and I are more than happy to respond. So please, we want you to be as successful as possible.
Yeah.